Welcome to our modeling and forecasting video tutorial. Prognoz Platform's modeling and forecasting tool enables you to perform complex modeling tasks using a wide range of econometric, balancing, and optimization methods. This instrument supports scenario forecasting, which can be used to predict consequences of managerial decision and define efficient control values for economic systems with regard to stated limitations. Let's consider the modeling and forecasting capabilities available in a Prognoz Platform web application. The modeling and forecasting tool provides a quick and easy way to build models with a visual user interface. The workspace in the central part of the screen contains modeling variables and indicates relations between them. Independent variables are displayed on the workspace as white rectangles. The simulated variables are dark blue, while the simulated variables, which are part of other equations as independent variables, are blue. In an optimal controlling problem, the objective function is highlighted in gray, while the goal-oriented problem is highlighted in pink. The left part of the window contains a side panel to customize the equation parameters. The bottom part of the window reflects a results panel. The Lines tab contains a graphical data representation of the variable or equation selected in the workspace. The Table tab reflects the source data of modeling variables, as well as the modeling scenario data. The composition of the Results panel tabs varies depending on the object selected in the workspace. Arrows show connections between factor variables and simulated variables. If you select a simulated variable, the side panel enables you to set the name and define the calculation periods, equation type, and modeling variable transformation. In the web application, the modeling and forecasting tool supports several types of problems, such as the forecasting problem, optimal controlling problem, and criterion problem. You can add constraint variables of the objective function in the model, so that the solution to the objective function falls within a specified range. You can visualize the simulated variable as a chart in the workspace. Let's display a chart for one of the forecasting problem equations. During the model calculation, the forecast is reflected on the chart. Let's create a new model in the modeling container of the time series database. The modeling container provides all the necessary data structures to store data about the models and variables. A model can exist only inside the modeling container. The modeling variables are usually time series from one or several time series databases. Let's use the growth rates of U.S. national accounts to build a model. Using the navigation bar, define the structure of the indicator tree and visualize only the series of our current interest. Drag and drop the growth rates of U.S. private consumption to the workspace. With that, a separate variable will be created for every indicator. You can add variables to various equations. Let's model private consumption using a two-factor linear regression. You can see that the variable turns blue. The equation type can also be changed via the Equation tab of the side panel. Let's include a second-order autoregressive value in the linear regression equation. On the Results panel, you can see both the source and the modeling series lines and assess the quality of the obtained model. The modeling and forecasting tool supports scenario modeling. A scenario is a possible source of events represented as a series of predicted factor values. To switch to the scenario modeling mode, select Tools, Parameters. To add and use new scenarios, click the Scenarios control button. A dialog opens. You can use this dialog to add, rename, delete, and copy scenarios. In our case, optimistic and pessimistic scenarios have already been added to the modeling container. Let's add a neutral scenario. Add the existing scenarios to the model. The optimistic scenario assumes increasing factor values, while the pessimistic one provides for the factors decrease. When creating a new scenario, you can input factor values in the Table tab of the Results panel. Time series data under the added scenarios is already included in the time series database. This is why the chart and the table reflect the data on the explaining variables with regard to scenarios. The modeling variable is forecasted based on scenario data. Use the table to input independent variables for the neutral scenario. The chart can also be used to add variable and scenario data by jacking the points in the graph. Let's change the independent variables of the new scenario. Save the scenario changes. Change the scenario data for the second variable. Let's enclose the obtained part of the model inside the block named Consumption. Similarly, Add other variables, such as the export and import of goods and services, and gross capital formation to the model. Let's now use the workspace variables to model GDP growth. To do so, add relations between the variables. For your convenience, you can visualize the dynamics of modeling indicators in the form of separate charts in the workspace. Let's calculate the model. The calculation results are displayed on the chart in real time as they're being calculated. As you can see, the chart reflects the source and forecast series. The chart of the results panel provides detailed visualization of the calculated model, including the modeling series and the confidence limits of the forecast. According to the chart, the modeling series closely corresponds to the source series. The Summary Statistics tab provides the model characteristics for assessing the adequacy and the quality of the model. For example, a high determination coefficient indicates a high-quality model, and the Durbin-Watson coefficient shows that the residual autocorrelation is insignificant. Based on the correlation matrix, we can conclude that the most analyzed factors show strong dependence from the simulated variable. However, the multicollinearity of factors is present. In the process of modeling, you can solve this problem by using the principal components method, for example. This method is provided in the desktop application of the Prognoz platform modeling and forecasting tool. To view the obtained model equation, go to the Specification tab. This tab also contains a list of the model factors with coefficients. We have considered the modeling variables as elements related to time series databases. However, these variables can also be independent, and they can contain user data. Let's input the data on US export growth and include it in the name of the variable. Let's use a simple model to demonstrate how to work with user data and to perform model assessment using the chart. Save the model for future use. The Prognoz platform desktop application also provides access to the modeling and forecasting tool. The web application provides a simplified interface and functionality, while the desktop modeling and forecasting tool, which is designed for analysts, provides wider capabilities. Let's use the desktop application to open a model created in the web client. The Container Objects bar provides a list of objects available in the modeling container. The model created in the web application is shown as a modeling problem. The description bar contains a detailed description of the object's properties. The Modeling Scenarios bar shows the list of scenarios. Let's consider in detail the properties of the modeling problem. At the top, you see the problem description and type. A tab with forecasting and identification periods and a list of scenarios is below it. The Variable Reports tab provides you with source data of the problem and calculation results. Variable data is visualized as an editable OLAP report. The calculation chain appears on the next bar. This chain contains several models. Let's consider one of them. The model description is available under several tabs. You can define the input and output variables, as well as the model type, under the Parameters tab. The modeling and forecasting tool supports over 30 different model types. The Specification tab provides a model factors and a model equation settings. The modeling results are accessible under the corresponding tab. In addition, the modeling and forecasting tool provides methods to analyze the quality of the obtained model, including the principal components method to deal with the multicollinearity of the model factors, the most widespread diagnostic tests, and the descriptive statistics menu item, which enables you to analyze the different aspects of a variable. This is just a short overview of the main econometric modeling tools. The obtained results can be used for planning and managerial decision-making. The Prognoz platform also contains a selection of data mining tools. The Data Mining tool is available in the regular report designer for the data in report sheets. It can also be used to perform data analysis on a relational data source. Let's study the functionality using a sample regular report. The first report sheet contains banking credit data of a certain bank, such as the amounts of the loans provided, borrower data, and so on. Let's use it to demonstrate the analysis tool capabilities. The Key Factors button enables you to study the dependencies of the analyzed variable from the selected factors. Let's see what factors have an impact on the target group. As a column for analysis of key factors, select the binary target group column. As factors, select the remaining columns except the agreement and contragent columns. You can see the list of possible factor values and their impact on possible variable values. The analysis of the results shows that the most significant factor for inclusion of a contragent into the negative target group is region 8, while contract amount is the most significant factor for inclusion into the positive target group. Among other significant factors are start debt group, base risk group, type of credit, and age. You can save the analysis results in the current report, in a new report, or in a Microsoft Excel file. Let's insert the results to a new report sheet. The pattern substitution methods enable you to fill in the empty cells depending on the other values in the same line. When an empty cell is found, the system defines its most probable value depending on the other values in the same line. For example, the table contains a number of empty cells in the binary target group column. Let's fill in the empty cells using the decision trees method. As we've defined above, type of credit, age, start debt group, and base risk group are the key factors that have an impact on the target group. Select them as factors for the analysis. The result is shown in table form. You can also view the decision tree rules used to fill in the gaps. Save the obtained analysis results, and let's proceed with another tool. Association analysis identifies commonly co-occurring sets of elements based on analysis of a set of recurring transactions. The table on the second report sheet contains data about purchases in the same shop, such as check number and purchased item. Let's analyze for the most frequently purchased items. Perform the analysis based on data from the transaction ID column. As recurring sets of objects, select the type of close column. Using additional parameters, you can limit the number of associations found and specify the support level. Let's review sets of 2 or more clothes. The analysis result page contains data about most frequently purchased sets of clothes. The most frequent sets are a blouse and a skirt, and a blouse and pants. Prognoz platform provides more data mining methods, for example, clustering, exception search, and forecasting. In this tutorial, we've studied the Prognoz platform modeling and forecasting tool. The results obtained with this tool can be used to create reports. Our modeling and forecasting video tutorial is over. Thank you for your attention.